Typical young man. He played soccer, he played baseball, he played basketball, had a lot of friends. He was great in school. Just a great kid. And over a couple months or so, he was experiencing some headaches and some nausea, and we didn't think much of it because it came and went, and it was over for a few days and would come back. But we finally took him to the doctors, and unfortunately, he had some pressure behind his eyes, and we ended up at Hopkins, and they did scans, and Chris and I ran down to Hopkins on a Friday night with Zachary, and by 10 o'clock that night, there was 2 or 3 neurosurgeons telling us, take your son home, make him comfortable. There was nothing they could do. And it was a large brain tumor at the base of his skull, and it was blocking the fluid, the cerebral fluid from draining out, and it was causing a lot of pressure in his brain, and there was really not much they could do. Fortunately, Dr. Carson got involved, and he gave us some hope, and he did a number of operations on Zachary. He put a shunt in. He ended up putting him in a medically induced coma for a couple weeks because of all the swelling. But whatever Dr. Carson did, he always told us that there was a vein in there that wasn't supposed to be there that was feeding this tumor, and he cut that vein, and that may have been what occurred. He wasn't real confident, but anyway, it turns out that Zachary's tumor started to shrink, and he got better, and we went through radiation. He got better and better and better, and he ended up finishing middle school at 5 years. He was cancer-free, and we were over that hump. And he was he'd gotten his strength back, and he went on to high school. He had a great high school, 4 years in high school. He managed the men's basketball team, the football team. He actually played football in his varsity year with the Centennial Eagles. And I was telling my friend tonight, I said, there's a lot of gifts that you're given throughout life, and a lot of them you probably don't notice, a lot of them you do see, and you really need to enjoy those gifts. And I think there's one big gift that Zachary gave us so many gifts, and Julia as well. And it's just, there's one gift that Zachary, that I experienced with Zachary was his senior year. The coaches of the men's football team came to us, and Julia, or Chris and I, and asked us if it would be okay if Zachary played football. And we talked to Dr. Carson. He signed off on it, and we got him the special helmet. And he played minimally, but that wasn't the gift. The gift was when we went there on Sundays or Saturdays to watch those games. We were sitting in the stands, and we looked down, and there's Zachary in the best shape of his life with his full uniform on, helmet, and Lederer across his back, and just standing there in those stands and seeing that was a true gift. So Zachary did finish high school. He went on to University of Maryland. His first semester there was one of his best of his life. He just had a great time. He had keys to Xfinity Center. He was a men's basketball manager, just loving life. Second semester, not so good. About a week or two into the second semester, he was experiencing some numbness in his left hand and his left foot. And when he called us and told us that, we were very concerned. So we took him down to Hopkins, and unfortunately there was another tumor in a similar area that was causing the issue. So they operated on him right away, and Zach was in the ICU recovering from the surgery, and he sits up, Chris and I were with him, and he sits up in bed and he makes this pose. And he says, "Take my picture." And I was like, "Zach, now that's not a good thing. You lay back down. We can do this another time." So we took the picture, and he laid back down. And when he was back down, I asked him. I said, "Zach, what was that about? What did you want that picture for?" And he said, "Well," he said, "I wanted to make sure my friends and family knew that I was strong enough to beat cancer a second time." And that picture made its way to. His cousins got a hold of that picture, and they posted on Facebook with them making that pose, and it went viral. And we had literally tens of thousands of people from around the world sending in pictures of themselves making that pose in support of Zachary, and really in support of all those that are battling cancer. And it became a symbol of strength, courage, determination, and hope. And it's what Zachary felt throughout his cancer process, and it's something that he really wanted other people to feel. And that was the motivation for him starting this foundation. He wanted to show, he'd love to show the kids in the hospital his strength. He would wear a cape to the the oncology floor and make the kids laugh. And he just had a zest for life and a zest for confidence, and he never said, why me? It was always, why not me? He was never worried about himself. He saw so many things at the hospital that went on that Chris and I didn't see. We were focused on him. But he saw a lot of adversity in other cancer patients and cancer families that he knew he needed to do something about it. And that's kind of how we got started. And that's what brought us to start. Actually, Zachary started the foundation. He picked his board. He wrote his mission statement, and we've been following it ever since. And we're growing it. And Chris is going to talk a little bit about how we got there and what we do. So I'll turn it over to Chris.
I was going to talk about how we got there, but I think John pretty much stole my thunder, and you all know how we got there now. So I'm going to tell you where the money goes and what our programs do. We have 28 partner hospitals, all in Maryland except one in Massachusetts and one in Florida. We work closely with the social workers there, and the social workers vet the patients for us, so we don't need to do that. We know that by the time they get to us, they need help. And there's a lot of people that are out there who do need help. Zach was astute enough to figure out at age 11 that, when you get cancer, the adversities of life don't stop. You still have bills, you still have families, it keeps going, life keeps going, and you've got to figure out how to make things work. And especially, we help all cancers, all ages, which is pretty unique. Not many cancer foundations do that. It's especially important when you're dealing with a breadwinner and they can't work for 6 months. It's a problem, and it happens to all of us, and we know people who have been in bankruptcy because their kids have had cancer. It's a tough thing. So anyway, we have 28 partner hospitals. Our largest program is called the Little Things for Cancer. And what we do is we help them with whatever it is they need. It might be groceries, it might be medical equipment, it might be prescription assistance. We have a partnership with Lyft, and we provide rides to and from treatments for the patients. We help with rent payments, we help with house cleaning, we help with cell phone payments, which might seem kind of extra, but it's really not. This is the patient's lifeline with their doctors. Anything they need, and we even provide date nights. We'll provide money and movie tickets and a gift card to a restaurant just to get out. Zachary always said it's the normalcy that the cancer patients crave. They want to feel normal, and that's what we try to do, is to help them feel normal through that program. We have another program called Relaxation Through Music, and another one that's massage therapy. And we have people that we pay that are experts in these areas, and they go to our infusion centers at our partner hospitals, and they will give people hand and foot massages while they're receiving their chemo infusions. And we also have live music being played in the infusion centers, just to relax people and try to make it I hate to say enjoyable, it's never enjoyable, but a more enjoyable experience. We have a program called Zoe's Day of Beauty. The woman who lost her daughter named Zoe funds this, and we go to Johns Hopkins Hospital 4 times a year to the Pediatric Cancer Center, and we provide massages, haircuts, manis, and pedis for the kids on that unit that are inpatients and their parents, because it's even hard to find time to go get your own haircut when your kid's in the hospital. We also have Zach Packs and Zach Sacks that we deliver to the hospitals, which contain all sorts of items and Zach swag and reference materials and lots of useful things for the patients. And our fastest growing program is called our Coping with Cancer Cannabis Program. And we have partnered with cannabis physicians, and our patient program coordinator, Ann Moeller, she meets with the patients, she helps them navigate through the process of getting their medical marijuana license. The doctors sign off, help them, they fast track them, get their numbers legitimized, and they go back to Ann, and she works with them to make sure that they get the right things that they need for their specific issues. And that program has absolutely taken off, and all of our hospitals want that program. And then last but not least, we provide, this was really important to Zach, and this was actually the very first thing we did when Zach started the foundation. He was awarded a Courage Award and it was a college scholarship by the retired NFL players. And that meant so much to Zach to be acknowledged for what he had been through and where he was in life at this time and what he was able to do. The very first thing he wanted to do was provide scholarships to high school kids who had been affected by cancer, either as a patient or a caregiver. So we also provide those scholarships. So we do a lot. We're busy. Thank you again for being here, and I'm going to turn it back over to Kurt. And if anybody has any questions, we are happy to talk to you later and answer any questions. Thanks.